Okay. Good morning, everybody. Joe Ciaccio here. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend, and for all you dads and grandfathers and stepdads and partner dads, hope you had a great Sunday. Okay, I had the pleasure of riding with an agent last week, Thursday and Friday, Laura Hardy. She'd been working with us for, Heather says, before 2016, so I'm going to say she'd been with us almost 10 years. And she had talked to Heather and said she wanted to jump back into final expense in the Medicare arena full force. And what she wanted to do was to come down here and visit with us and ride with us, or ride with me. So Laura and I were hanging out. We were talking. So I asked her to be on the call today so she can kind of share with you some of the things that we did, some of the things that she picked up riding with me, and then to let you guys know the invitation is available to anybody that wants to come here, and I'll be more than happy to ride with you, take you out, let you see how things are. And what I've seen before, and I'm going to ask Laura this question, is that a lot of times when you ride by yourself, you think when you don't see people or people don't want to buy or they don't answer their door or you know they're home and they don't answer, you come to realize that that happens no matter what city or state you're riding in. And what ends up happening is that riding with me or riding with your manager, what that's going to do is that's going to kind of reassure you that what's happening is a normal process. It's also going to show you that you probably are doing things that are, not I'm going to say is incorrect, but you may not be following through. You may not be crossing your T's and dotting your I's. You may be running too quick before the client really is kind of like convinced, or you've persuaded, or you've given enough value for them to say yes, yes, yes. So with that said, Jay, open up Laura, please. Laura Hardy, you're on the air. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning. So what I'm going to do, we kind of briefed on this here. I wanted to chit-chat with you this morning before the call, but due to our schedule, we weren't able to do that. I kind of want you to kind of, I know how long you've been doing this for, yet can you share with everybody on the call, how long you've been in the business for, and kind of like the reasons why you actually wanted to come down here and visit with us?
Yes, and thank you for allowing me to come on the call. Thank you for allowing me to come down with you. Hope everyone had a great Father's Day. Happy Juneteenth. But I want to say it was amazing. Just 2 days. It was amazing, and I learned so much. It was so impactful to be there. And one thing that you impressed upon me was having that synergy. When you see someone else, then it encourages you, and you can pick up things. So I've been a licensed insurance agent in the state of North Carolina for 22 years. I've had my Medicare license for 12 years. And like you said, I wanted to jump back in full time. One thing that really drew me and kept me connected to you guys is Heather has always kept in contact, has always kept me abreast of things, and you've always been supportive. So I said, if I'm going to jump back in full time, you guys are definitely who I want to go with. And when you opened up the invitation for me to come down, I was a little nervous, to be honest. But I came and we got out there, and I learned so much in 2 days. From the one thing, not giving up, just really following through, not letting the customer run you off. Sometimes they say, I'm not interested. And I know when you said, well, can I ask you, why'd you send the card in? That's something, sometimes somebody says boo and you'll run away. But if you actually make them think, yeah, why did I send the card in? Well, I was thinking at that time and just keeping the conversation going. And the very first person that we talked with, they didn't answer the door right away. And we kind of stood outside for a couple of minutes, and they ended up coming to the door. And I said, you know what? That person could have been asleep. They might have, been, harder walking and had a hard time getting to the door, and you're going to knock on the door real quick and run away, which is what I would have done before. But now I know, hey, give them a couple minutes. Sit outside the house, make your calls or do what you have to do. So I learned so much just in the time we were there. I can't even tell you how much it impacted me.
Well, when we were at that house, it's just, the part that is the most amazing part is that I think I observed things very well. Mm-hmm. I know when I walk into a house, I look around. I'm looking for this. Either there's something to talk about. She's snickering because I'm going to tell you what happened. We're there talking with this gentleman who we were speaking outside because I'm a firm believer, just don't get in the car and leave because they could be sleeping. They could be in the bathroom. They could be on the phone. They have thought they heard something. So we're in the house chit-chatting. Made no sale. He already had a policy, and he was set, happy with everything. Yet I asked his permission to come back and see him for Medicare, and he said yes. So we're sitting there. We leaving all that stuff there. And Laura, tell them what was in the house that I didn't realize was there.
It was another person it was kind of, I don't know, like a room off to the side, but there was a little couch there, and it was somebody sleeping there. So when they got up, not all the way up, but they sat up, and I was like, whoa, is somebody there? And I didn't realize Joe didn't know that there was someone there. I was like, it's a guy with dreadlocks sitting over there, right over there. Yeah.
So, I take pride. I look around. I know what's going on. So, bam, I got not taken, but I was just kind of like, I asked her, are you sure it was a person in there? But the room was a little bit dark to like make me not look that bad. So let me kind of tell you, we got in the car, we chit-chatted, we answered a bunch, talked about a lot of questions. And what I believe is that when you're visiting with us and you're actually in the car with me, you're going to ask me questions, and I'm going to give you answers. And for some reason, probably 75 to 80% of the agents who have ridden with, that stuff tends to stick more in their brain than if they were to sit home and go through all the notes we have. Because what ends up happening is that Laura can buy all the leads she wants, direct mail, digital leads, buy all these leads here. Yet what we have to have is a little bit of knowledge about the application. She asked me who was my go-to company, okay? So instead of me jumping out and saying, this is my go-to company, you guys have got to pick a company out that is a company that you want to just gravitate towards. Just pick one that you like, pick one that you feel comfortable with, learn that application inside out, yet you've got to learn a second one so in case the first one they don't qualify for. Because we were there and we made one sale to this gentleman, and I'm going to say on a scale from 1 to 10 as a lay down, and a 10 is having to work real hard with objections and rebuttals, and I want to think about it, I'm going to probably put him at maybe a 3, okay? He already had life insurance, and what ends up happening is that when people have life insurance, he said he had a policy for $100,000. He had one from his bank for $2,000, and then he had a policy for $2,700 with Foresters. So I said, okay. I said, well, who do you have these with? And the bank was $2,000, and you must caution yourself because you don't want to embarrass them. I said, normally when you have something from a credit union, it's normally an accidental policy. He kind of heaved and hawed because he says, Joe, it's got a beneficiary on there. So instead of me telling him, you know what you're talking about, I said, something, you're probably right. It could be a policy like that there. I said, yet between that 2 and the 27, you're only at $4,700. I'm not going on details what I said. And then he said he had one for $100,000, only pays $11 a month. So we kind of talked about that one there, and he said, okay, yeah, this is probably an accidental because how can they give me that much coverage for only $11 a month? We sat there, we chit-chatted, and I can't exactly remember why I went, but I went with the Royal Neighbors because it had to have been his health, and I don't recall what was wrong. And do you recall what was wrong with him, Laura? That we went with Royal Neighbors, you remember?
He had, oh gracious, he had cancer, but it had not been 3 years. It had only been 2 years.
Right. That's what it was there. So Liberty Bankers, new application, went from 2 years to 3 years on look back. Prosperity is 3. Foresters is 3. Mutual is 4. Transamerica is 4. AM is 3. So I said to myself, who can I put him with? So went to Rural Neighbors. He was happy with everything. And what happens a lot of time with agents is that they're trying to find the client the cheapest premiums out there. So I mainly basically told him, I said, listen, I said, I've got a lot of carriers, but I said, I don't have many that will accept you with the cancer being a little bit over 2 years. Most of them are 3 years or more. And I didn't look at the premiums. Well, I looked at the premiums, but I'm not going to let the premiums of Rural Neighbors, that's a couple of dollars higher than everybody else, make me say, oh, let me keep on looking to find another carrier for $2 or $3. He was happy. He said, I want one for $10,000. Showed him one for 10 and 12 because he was already mindset on what he wanted. And he looked at me, bless his heart, and he had a hard time. He said he was legally blind, yet he could see, you know, our I guess our shadows. And I told him the price, and I saw a little bit of hesitation. I said, does that feel comfortable? And he paused. And a lot of times people pause because they're trying to figure out a way to say, I cannot afford that. So either I suggested, do you want me to show you something different? He said, yes, show me one that's a little bit less. So I went from 10 to 8. The price was like $54, $55. He was very, very happy, did an e-app, bam, bam, bam. He was approved right then and there. Just very, very happy. Now, Laura, what else did we go through that you saw? Like the people, the lady we talked to on the porch wanted us to come back. So what you guys got to understand, even since I've been doing this for a long time, it does not mean that people are going to sit and say, Joe, you know, you've got experience and you do this, you do that stuff, I'm going to let you in. Okay? People, I'm not going to say people are the same everywhere because I've ridden in a lot of different cities, and people in certain areas are just nice. When I rode in North Carolina years ago, the people there were probably the nicest people. I rode in Mecklenburg, which is mainly Charlotte, out in their little rural area. The people out there were super nice. I've ridden in the heart of Cook County in Chicago, and the people I ran across there were kind of just not tough. They were just very, you know, really not too happy to see me and the agent that I was there, even though I know we made 1 or 2 sales. So by just going out, and what Laura said, I told her on a piece of paper when I was speaking to the first guy, he was kind of heeing and hawing and got up to get his medications and all that there. And I put on there NGU. She looked at me and I said, never give up. Just keep on providing them information, letting them just know that you really care about him. He said he had a $30,000 policy, and what he was paying for it, to me, it just didn't add up. He had it 10 years ago, and what he was paying for it, and even 10 years ago, the premiums in my mind were a little bit too low. Yet, you know, you don't want to insult them. And the most amazing part is I said, do you happen to have the policy so I can review it? He goes, no, I believe he told me his goddaughter had it or something. And I don't understand people how they don't keep their policy at their house. They want to give it to somebody. So could he be telling the truth? Yes. Could he be telling me a little white lie because he didn't want to show it to me? Yeah, I don't know. So, Laura, tell them about the lady we saw towards the end who had fallen a couple times.
The one that was
lady
outside.
With the rheumatoid arthritis. Yeah, no, the rheumatoid arthritis lady.
The one who had just gotten the policy.
Yes.
Who had just gotten the policy, and she had her policy there, but when we did the review, Joe discovered that the agent was not truthful on the policy, which could cause a big problem if something happened to her. because the company could deny a whole claim. And that is a powerful thing in actually reviewing the policy so that you can let them see in black and white, this is not what it needs to be. And she was very happy. She was very happy because she was content. She felt good. She was like, I already got coverage, but now she's going to have that conversation, and you have a follow-up appointment to go back and get her proper coverage so that she'll be secure and know. So, yeah, that kind of stuff, it was just eye-opening to me. And I said, wow, even the ones that didn't commit that day, you still made a follow-up. You still found a way to keep them in the loop. And just adding value like that, it just, you can't replace it with anything.
She was 52 years old, had fallen about a week ago, not knowing why she had fallen. Her face was a little bit bruised up. Her glasses, one of the arms were missing because I guess she broke them. And she's already taken care of it. And I said, no problem. I said, why don't you get me your policy and I can review it for you to where we can know exactly what you have. She got up, went over there, brought the policy back, had it with a company called Baltimore Life that we used to represent. She had told us she had rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. I said, okay, no problem. So I didn't see lupus in their application, yet rheumatoid arthritis was one of the questions. Okay, one of the bottom questions, the first two words in that sentence was rheumatoid arthritis. The agent wrote no. Now, I know everybody knows, yet I'm going to say it. Whenever a client buys a life insurance policy from anybody, the company has what they call is a contestability period to make sure that if the client dies within the first 2 years and does not tell the truth on the application, the company can rescind coverage, deny coverage, and just don't pay the coverage because the client did not tell the truth or the agent didn't write down the correct answer. So what ends up happening, I told her, is that this is something that we need to discuss. And she wanted her husband there because, she thought she had the best policy and all that stuff there. So you got to kind of tread lightly when you're telling people this stuff here because you don't want to make them feel that they made a bad decision. So I said, you probably told the agent that you had rheumatoid arthritis because you told Laura and I, and you were very open about it. She said, well, I did tell him. I said, well, what you told him should have been a yes, and let me show you what he answered. And she was taken back. She said, oh, my God, I did tell him. So if you write an application for somebody and the client does not tell you the truth, okay, or another agent is at the house and they write an application and the agent does not write down the answer the client gave them just to get immediate benefits for the least amount of premiums, if that client passes away within the first 24 months of the issued date, the carrier can say, we're not paying. What ends up happening, as we told her, I said, I don't think anything's going to happen to you. I said, yet, God forbid something happens to you. This $10,000 that you want for your husband to take care of your burial, all he's going to do is get back all your premiums. Okay, no 10%. He's going to get back the premiums you put in, which are like $30, like almost $31. And I said, it's going to defeat the whole purpose of this here. So I'm looking through my book, and I said, well, Transamerica doesn't talk about lupus. Transamerica doesn't talk about the actual rheumatoid arthritis. So I kind of told her that there. She was happy. So I'm going to call her this week to make an appointment, and she needs to have it done by the end of June because she's going somewhere after the end of June. So, Laura, I'm trying to think of what else that we actually did. In other words, what were some of the things we discussed in the car that kind of opened your eyes up? Do you actually recall anything?
Yeah, I recall a lot. But like I said, that windshield time was good because it was informal, just reflecting on the people that we talked to. But the one thing that stuck in my mind was never give up. And the fact that I cannot stress how important it was to be there, because, we can talk over the phone, and, you have, of course, a couple of times talked to me about, potential cases and different things, but being there was something that I think made a big difference. And just keeping them in the loop. I think that was my major takeaway, was keeping them in the loop, because just because they're saying no doesn't mean it's no. It might just be not now. It might be next week. It might be next month. It might be in Medicare season, and keeping them in the loop, and also getting referrals. So making sure those were major takeaways that I got. And Heather and Jay got me set up real good. They got all my materials I need. I got home and I had supplies waiting for me. It was just a wonderful experience, and the people in Tampa were very nice and friendly. It was good and warm. So, I think those are the main things that I would definitely say. But you have to start. So anyone that has not taken that step, I would definitely urge them to do that, to go, to just get in the cycle so you can start taking advantage of these wonderful resources that are available to you. And I can't thank you all enough.
Thank you. What happens is that I've had agents who want to come down, and I talked to one agent. I talked to him for about a year. Joe, I feel kind of bad. You know what I'm saying? You're a busy guy, and and basically what it was is that he wasn't as sharp as what he thought he was, and he didn't want to come down here and not look good. But that's okay. I was green. I didn't know nothing about life insurance, final expense, Medicare. I didn't know nothing. So we all have got to start somewhere. And the beauty about starting and coming down here with me is that we're going to give you a well-rounded viewpoint and a picture and a roadmap on how to get to where you can be successful. We only made one sale. We were out one day about, I'm going to say 4 hours, and the next day about 6 hours. So if we would have gone out on Friday, Laura had to get back on Friday, we probably would have made another sale or two for the people who wanted us to come back. The only thing that I did not do is, for the mere fact is, there's just not enough hours in the day for me to go back on the road all the time. When I'm doing a call like today, and I've got agents calling me throughout the day, and Heather needs me to talk to people, is that the only thing we did not leave were the little yellow delivery notices, okay? And to me, those are so important for you guys to have, are the little yellow delivery notices, where if you go to somebody's house and they're not home, okay, either you can leave them a little delivery notice the first time, or you can do it the second time. Strictly up to you, okay? And we sell them on our website. What they cost, I don't know, but I know they're just very, very inexpensive for them. And those there is another tool that you guys can use, so that people get home, they can call you. Because believe it or not, driving around is a pain in the butt. I'm not going to tell you it's not. Yet, what I've learned is that a new agent, the best way for them to learn is to do it belly to belly, face to face, eyeball to eyeball, because what's happening is that you're able to read the client's body language, and you're able to kind of make a little boo-boo in front of them, and you can always cover it up, pick it up, and keep on going. Yet when you're on the phone, you don't know if the client is giving you their full, undivided attention, or they're talking to you on the phone looking at a doggone People magazine. You don't know. Yet the people we spoke to, this one lady lived in a mobile home. She came outside, and we chit-chatted, and she said her husband sent the card in. They do need something, and he's going to get back to me. What did she call me back? I don't know. To me, I've had some people call me, yet it's got to be me calling them back. Because the thing about it is, when a client sends these return leads in, whether it's a digital one they do online or a paper one that they fill out, at the time they sent it in, you've got no idea why they filled the card out, okay? So we kind of put them in a general classification as a responder, okay? One guy told us he lived in like a little townhouse, and he was there, come to the door. He says, yeah, I get these cards all the time, but I don't need anything. I've already got life insurance. So I looked at him and I said, well, why did you fill the card out? You know, what motivated you to fill the card out? And what did he say, Laura? And do you recall what he said? I don't remember right now.
I don't think he didn't know. He's just like, he keeps filling the cards out, and he doesn't even know why he's filling them out, but he didn't, I don't know. Yeah, he didn't really give a straight answer.
Yeah, and people keep on coming back. And I said, well, you know, just don't fill the card out anymore, because when you fill this card out, somebody's going to come see you. And the thing about it is, I don't want to spend another $40, $50, $60 on somebody just to fill it out because they got no idea what it was. So I made sure he knew what it was. We started talking, and he said, I don't make much money, so I can't get more insurance. So I make about $4, and he pulled back on when he was going to say his statement on how much money he makes. So I said, well, he opened the door for me. I said, well, just to let, you know, for us, for conversation's sake, you know, how much money do you make per month? Looked at me and said, I'm not going to tell you that there. So I said, okay. I said, well, since you don't need the life insurance, who do you have your health insurance with? United Healthcare. I love them. I said, well, with your permission, can I give you a call back if there's something better out there? And he said, yes. So this is why, guys, it's so extremely smart and powerful and worthwhile, and another stream of income is to get into Medicare supplements, which you need no license. I mean, all you need is a health license, and to get into the Medicare Advantage arena, because we talked about this last week. In most areas, in Florida, in the areas that I've worked in, there's no premiums. I wrote a client in Georgia probably 2 years ago, her and her husband. They got I don't know whether it was a PPO or HMO. I can't remember every single thing. Yet what I do recall is that they had a premium of $49 a month. And I was in shock, and they did not have another program with different copays for no premiums. So it depends. So hopefully a lot of these people who did not want life insurance, I can go back and have them do the Medicare. Heather, what's that form called for me to go back and see the people with the Medicare? Hold on a minute. A comeback? I know it's like a response to come back. Okay, I can't think of what it's called. But there's a form that you need to get, and I believe it's in the back office, okay? Hear me, Jay? The back office form? For the what? Okay, it's called a permission to contact. So what you do is that when you're in the house and they don't need life insurance, or you cannot persuade them to buy more, or they're being hard-headed about it, it's called a permission to come back, okay? Have them fill that card out, or you fill it out, have them sign it to where you can come back and see them. CMS rules, Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So you have to have these forms signed and filled out for you to go back to be within the rules of not breaking the rules and getting in trouble. Medicare, Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, life insurance, burial insurance, cremation program, it all in how you want to word it. Okay? Laura, what else did we do? Because we've been on the call for almost 30 minutes. What else did you see with the people we spoke with that kind of, you said, woof, what do you think, Ken? Do you think of anything?
I think we covered everything pretty well. Just getting out there, getting in front of the people face to face, not giving up, following up, finding a way to keep them in the loop. I think those were the major takeaways, and then really getting down there with you guys so that we can get organized and know what to say and feel confident when you go into a home to talk with someone.
Yes. You know, what happened is that I normally have the agent talk the first day, and Laura and I talked to Joe. I'll talk tomorrow. So we set it up for the next day, and we went to an appointment. And for whatever reason, Laura didn't talk, so I said, no big deal. I said, we'll do it in the afternoon. And nobody was home. Okay. Then we went back to this one house that we had gone to. No, there was no vehicle there. Went back, and there was an air conditioning truck sitting right up front. So we knew he was home. So she knocked on the left door, I knocked on the right door, and the guy just did not answer. So that's the only thing that we couldn't accomplish, was to have Laura make a presentation so I could at least hear exactly what she was doing good and what she may be of needed help on, which to me is so powerful. I'll say this one story that I'm going to let you guys go. I had an agent ride with me probably, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And he was a pretty good sales guy. He was making sales, doing well. And when I went with him to the door, he must have said 57 extra sentences, 900 extra words, and the guy was just telling him, no, 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 no. So he just thought the more he talked, the more he'd do something. So I told the guy, so I said, Chris, I said, when you run across and you can't do something, either you can't make the application, you can't make the sale, you can't get in the door, look at me and I'll do it. I told the guy very nicely, I said, you sent this card in wanting information on either a burial program or some additional life insurance. All our job is to do is to give you the information, and then from there our job is done. He said, oh, come on in. So bottom line is that like the more you talk, okay, the more opportunity you have to kind of say the wrong thing. If you just keep it short, quick, and simple, say, I'm here. Why did you send the card in? What motivated you? What were you thinking about when you sent the card in? A lot of times that's going to give you the opportunity to say, that's exactly what I'm here for. And when you're exactly there for that there, just very nicely say, can I have 2 minutes of your time? And believe it or not, people are courteous. People let you in the house. So, okay, I'm going to let you guys go. Laura, is there anything you'd like to say before we end the call?
Again, just thank you for inviting me down. I can't tell you how impactful it was, but you watch the board and you will see. Thank Heather, thank Jay, and thank you for letting me come on the call. Hope all the agents are super successful and take you up on your offer.
Okay, guys, thank you. Hit them hard. You got any calls, give Jay a call. You need leads, get with Heather. They're another carrier on the emails we've sent out that you're not aware of, you don't know about. You want some information, give us a call. We'll talk to you. And as always, be safe out there. Thank you, Laura, for being on the call. Great meeting you. And William last week, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye,
okay,
guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.